G'day, good morning everyone. Thanks for joining us this morning. Apologies about the slight technical issue we had just before. Zoom decided to shut itself down. So I hope everyone is okay and appreciate you joining us back again. So welcome everyone to our third Australian Travel Trade Enrichment series. Welcome back to those that have joined us previously, and a very warm welcome for those that are joining us for the very first time. For those that I haven't met before, my name's Wayne and I look after Brand USA for Australia and New Zealand. And I'm just going to go over a few kind of housekeeping things before we kick off. Firstly, if you've got any questions, please post them using the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen. That would be awesome. You can post them throughout the webinar. The question and answer session will be towards the end. There will be a recorded version of this webinar that we will share with you all, and there'll also be a link to the actual presentation deck that has all the information and all the call to action links included in that particular deck as well. And towards the end of today's webinar, there will be a Kahoot quiz. We will reveal the PIN number towards the end. Make sure you listen during Penny Brand's part of the webinar today, as there is where lies the answers to the quiz. So the quiz will happen towards the end, and I will reveal the PIN number towards the end as well. So I will kick it off on what you can expect from today's webinar. So thank you again for everyone for joining us. I'm going to recap some of the essential trade tools that I covered off in the last webinar. And then I'll be reviewing our Giant Trees and Ancient Forests Insider Guide. And then I'll introduce the lovely Penny Brand from Gate 7, who represents Napa Valley, North and South Lake Tahoe, Mammoth Lakes, and Yosemite and Mariposa County. And then we'll have our Q&A session. As I mentioned, please post your questions throughout the webinar. And then we'll have the Kahoot quiz, and then I'll reveal details of our next two webinars that we've got coming up for you. All right, so just to go over some of our essential trade tools that we've got for you. The first one is our new US COVID-19 travel guidelines. And this is found on our travel trade site, so traveltrade.visittheusa.com.au. And I'll just give you a quick sneak peek now on where you can find that information. What I would recommend is that you save that as a favorite on your PC or on your device. So there we go. If you go to traveltrade.visittheusa.com.au, this is the home page. If you click on the arrow on the right there, and then you'll see Corona's travel updates. Click on View More, and what this does is give you a comprehensive list of all the cities and states throughout the USA. And if you just scroll down, I'm just going to click on Hawaii, for example. What this does is direct you to the State of Hawaii's Department of Health COVID-19 page, which is updated regularly. On there, you'll find information around travel information there. And also in this particular site as well, it lists down all the major hotels and all the airlines, not just US-based airlines, but internationally, on all their updates and all their procedures. So I would encourage you to have a look at that. So that's our COVID-19 guidelines found on our travel trade site. So we've got our travel trade site, as I mentioned before, and on here you'll find a raft of information around destinations, on our insider guides and road trip itineraries. There's in the resources section, if you're looking for a particular destination marketing organization via a state or a city, it lists down all of the city and state DMOs and has links that take you directly to their travel trade site. So there you'll be able to find information on maps or on suppliers, or if you need a contact, if you've got a group is potentially going there and you just need to contact somebody, I encourage you to go in there and have a look. Save this as a favorite as well. It's a great resource, and there's a huge amount of content on there around videos and images per state and city as well. Our USA Discovery Program, thanks to those that have already signed up and are members. For those that don't know, the USA Discovery Program is the official training site for the USA. You can go to usadiscoveryprogram.com.au, sign up, takes less than 5 minutes, and you'll be able to see all of our specialist badges that we've got on offer today. Some of the specialist badges that we'll be talking about today, we feature here. We've got our Lake Tahoe, California outdoor and winter sports specialist badges for you to complete. Also, really exciting is that we've got our next incentive that is starting at the beginning of September. We've got an incentive that's going to be running for quite a short span, so it's only 4 weeks, and we've got a $1,000 Visa gift card up for grabs. So keep an eye out on Carry On and also via our Facebook travel trade page, which I'll talk about soon. There you'll find all the details and when we announce the actual incentive beginning. Go USA TV app, so you can download this via your app store. It's free to sign up. There's no registrations needed. It's got an amazing amount of content on there across all the cities and states. There's short kind of documentary style content, full-length movies. And what I did yesterday is, because I knew that we'll be talking about Napa, I just put into the search bar Napa Valley, and it came up with some amazing content, and especially around the Culinary Institute of America, which is in St. Helena and Napa. So if you haven't downloaded it, I encourage you to go in there, go into your app store and download the Go USA TV app. Our USA Trip Planner, and this is a tool for you that is on our travel trade site. And what I'll do is, rather than talk you through it, I'll kind of give you a very quick demonstration on how it works. For those that have joined us previously, you'll know that this is kind of one of my favorite tools that I really liked to use. So we'll go back to the visit the USA Travel Trade site. And if you go to plan your trip, scroll down and go to Trip Planner. And what you can do is just enter as many destinations in the US as you like. So I'm just going to put in here Los Angeles, Las Vegas, and Utah. And when you've got your destinations put in there, you just put a start and end date and 2 adults, and then you put in your activity preferences. So this is quite important to fill this part out. So you might have clients or yourself that are looking for hidden gems, and you want the pace to be slow and easy. They're interested in shopping, historic sites, and maybe a bit of culture. So what it will do, based on those inputs, it will create a bespoke plan for you. And what it does is it lists in each of those cities that you've put in there the must-sees and do's along the way. And you can change the order of this. You can put in flight and accommodation detail. Here is just kind of a brief kind of look at each day and what there is there. You can look at it by day or via a calendar view. If it's a fly drive, it actually automatically puts in their approximated drive times between each of the places. And if you click on this icon, the screw icon up here, you can actually share the plan, you can print it, you can add in your own company branding. So it takes all the hard work out for you, and it's a fantastic tool for you to use, even for your own personal travel. So that's our trip planner, which is on our travel trade site. And so next up is our Facebook group. Thank you so much to those that have already joined and those that have shared the link with your colleagues. This is a closed private group, and we've created this especially for the Australian travel trade only. So we would love to get the numbers up as a little bit higher. Currently the Kiwis are a little bit ahead of the Aussies at the moment, which is unusual. But if you could, if you haven't already, in your search bar in Facebook on your own profile, just tap in Brand USA Travel Trade Australia, answer a few simple questions, and then you're in. So here we'll be posting the most up-to-date announcements about our competitions. It's a really fun place that we've created and creates a fantastic sense of community. So if you haven't already, please join our Facebook group. So our insider guides, which are located on the travel trade site, are downloadable. They are all localized in kilometers, fully customizable to suit your client's needs. This particular insider guide, The Giant Trees and Ancient Forests, starts in San Francisco and ends in San Francisco, and features Lassen Volcanic National Park, Lake Tahoe, and Yosemite National Park. In the future, all these road trip itineraries, or insider guides as we call them, will be bookable through your preferred wholesaler. And also when you go to the travel trade site and view this particular road trip itinerary, there's a link to some amazing images and video content that are around that particular insider guide. So that's also, as I mentioned, on the travel trade site. And all of the information that I've just talked about, we will be sharing with you post this webinar with a copy of the deck and all these links as well. So that's kind of a quick recap on our travel trade essential tools. And so this kind of segues nicely for me to introduce to you the lovely Penny brand. Penny is with Gate 7 in our Sydney office, and she represents all those amazing destinations. So I'm now going to hand the reins over to the lovely Penny. Thank you, Penny.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for that. I'm just going to get Wayne to allow me to share the screen.
Stand by.
Yeah, no, thanks so much for coming on today. Hopefully I've met some of you. It's always a bit hard to know on a webinar, isn't it? But we're going to take a little bit of a different kind of a road trip on this one. Okay, I've got my share screen and we're going to go on a Californian road trip. Now, most of you think of California, you think of beaches and coast roads, but let's face it, in truth, we live here in Australia, so we have some of the best beaches in the world. So what I recommend is, instead of doing the beach road, we are going to take the mountain road. So we'll take the high road up into the high Sierra Nevada mountains and see something is really, really unique. On this road trip today, we're going to be starting in San Francisco. We're going to head up to the beautiful Napa Valley. I'm sure many of you like your wine as much as me, especially during these hard COVID times. So we're going to have a few glasses of wine, then we're going to head up to Lake Tahoe for a bit of skiing, snowboarding, playing on the lake, depending on our season, then head on down to the beautiful Mammoth Mountain and visit Yosemite National Park on our way back to San Francisco. So starting in San Francisco, I'm not going to talk to you about that today because that'll probably take up the full 15 minutes. So we are going to head straight up to the beautiful Napa Valley. Now, the Napa Valley is considered one of the great wine capitals of the world. It's only an hour and 20 minutes from San Francisco, and one of the tips I give people, sometimes San Fran, you can get a bit of a rate shock when you get your rates for it. And that's usually on the Monday to Thursday. San Francisco is very much a corporate town, has lots of conventions, so the rates can be a bit higher during that time. If so, I say send everybody up to the Napa Valley, get over your jet lag with a couple of glasses of wine, and then come back to San Francisco at the end of the trip and spend the time exploring then. So into the beautiful Napa Valley, and it is called legendary for a reason. The valley itself is only 48 kilometres long from end to end. It's about 9 kilometres at its widest point, but within that there are over 500 wineries. And they're not just your normal standard wineries, they're grand wineries. They're beautiful French chateaus, they're Gothic mansions, and they've even got their own little castle. So plenty to see there in the Napa. The valley's also got a fabulous, fabulous culinary scene. It's got more Michelin stars per capita than anywhere else in the USA. And it is home to the CIA, the Culinary Institute of America, where you can do lots of different tastings and wine things along there. So something really super cool to get yourself out there and really enjoy this wonderful farm to fork artisan food production destination. From the Napa, we are going to head on up into the Sierra Nevada mountains. Now, we're going to make one little stop on the way, and that is midway here at the Vacaville Premium Outlets. Now, these are some massive outlet malls, and we know how much we love our shopping here, especially now that the Australian dollar is getting a little bit better again. So stop off there, check out the Vacaville Outlet, and make sure you're full to the brim with anything you might need for the rest of your trip. The drive up to North Lake Tahoe is only 3 hours from Napa, so a really easy drive that just takes you up there through the mountains. And then what you get to the lake, it's really worth it. Lake Tahoe is the largest alpine lake in the USA, and it's also the second deepest. The lake itself sits there and straddles the border between California and Nevada. So about 2/3 is in California with 1/3 of the lake in the Nevada. But it's incredibly deep at about 500 meters in parts. The lake itself is dotted with beautiful ski resorts, and there's a few really big ones that are really important to the Australian market. There's Squaw Valley or Alpine Meadows, that's the same resort. You have got North Star and you've got Heavenly there at the bottom of the lake. So it's actually the largest concentration of ski resorts anywhere in North America. Got a great season. It starts in around November and lasts to sort of anywhere from April, May, depending on the season. But Lake Tahoe is not only great for the winter, it's also fabulous year round. So you've got these beautiful beaches that sit there on the lake. So from North Lake Tahoe to South Lake Tahoe, it's about an hour drive, but I'd highly recommend to anyone going to the lake, no matter where you decide to stay, to spend a day just circling the lake and exploring the little towns. The main difference between the north and the south is the north has got a lot of smaller little villages and towns that are sitting there on the lake. And in South Lake Tahoe, you have really the city centre, I guess, of the lake. And that sits there right down the bottom of this map there and straddles the border on state line. So you've got the California side, which is a bit more lean, green and log cabins, and then you've got the Nevada side where you've got some casinos and a lot more nightlife. So some really great options for no matter where you'd like to stay on the lake. But it really is just such a stunning area, beautiful hiking, biking, mountain biking, and in the summer, any lake activities such as canoeing, boating, or getting out there on the lake. A really stunning spot. From there, we're going to head down a little bit further south and we're going to go to Mammoth Lakes. And we're going to have a stop at Bodie on the way as well as Mono Lake. And I'll show you why. Because Bodie is the official it's California's official ghost town. It was closed up in the late 1800s and pretty much everything has stayed exactly the same. So worth a little stop out there and get some Instagrammable moments. Another spot is Mono Lake, a little bit further south from that. And this is considered one of the oldest lakes in the world, thousands and thousands of years old. It has water coming into it, but the only way it gets out is via evaporation. So you've got these amazing sculptured tulpas that come up there. You can go for a walk around that, or you can actually head out in the lake and do some kayaking. So a really special experience. From there, it's straight down to the beautiful Mammoth Lakes. And Mammoth Lakes sits there at the bottom of a Mammoth Mountain. And it's Mammoth by name and Mammoth by nature. It's a year-round adventure lovers playground. So think skiing, snowboarding, anything on the snow for the winter period, and then in the summer getting out in the mountain bikes. The village sort of sits there at the bottom of the lake, as the bottom of the mountain, as you can see in these pictures, and it really has got that fantastic snow village feel about it. Mammoth Mountain is about 1.5 times the height of Mount Kosciuszko, so it sits there at over 3,000 metres, and it gets an average of 10 metres of snow per year, so quite a lot more than the 3 metres we get here in Australia. So Mammoth by name and Mammoth by nature is what I say to people, and really fabulous no matter what season you want to go to. This is the winter trail map. But all of these trails are open for mountain biking or hiking in the summer as well. So one of those fabulous spots year round. And from Mammoth, you can head straight on in to Yosemite National Park. Now, what I will mention right at the start, that this is using the Highway 120, or known as the Toga Pass, and this is closed in the winter period. But it's only a little 2-hour drive in the summer. And in the winter, you can access Yosemite through a few different options. This just shows you that there are 4 main entrances to the park, and 3 stay open year round. And it takes you into what everybody does know as the stunning Yosemite Valley. You'll see the tunnel view in the top there, and a few of the real major points that are worth noting is the giant sequoia trees, the beautiful waterfalls, and of course the wonderful Half Dome and El Capitan, which has actually got a sheer cliff face of about 1,000 metres. Also worth a stop is the little town of Mariposa County, and that is about an hour out of the park. So this just shows you the map heading its way back into San Francisco. It's about an hour drive from the valley floor into Mariposa. Great little stop there to check out the little old town, and then from there a 3-hour, 50-minute back into San Francisco. And that's your longest drive of this whole road trip. So it's just a fabulous way to get out there, have a little bit of difference with your destinations, and see so much that the US has got to offer. So that then brings me to the end of my wonderful Californian road trip. It's a really great way to see a good variety of things so different from what we've got here in Australia.
Thank you so much, Penny. That was a fantastic roundup of so many destinations in such short time. I've actually had a few people text me directly, and they said, what is in your drink? They said, are you drinking red wine because you're talking about Napa?
I wish. It's actually a Barocca. I didn't have red wine last night, but I wish I had some Napa wines with me right now.
I'm glad it's just Barocca. Thank you.
I'm not.
Look, all those destinations that you featured, there's something really for everybody. It doesn't matter if you're into sports or if you're into culinary or food, but like so many vineyards and wineries in Napa Valley, and you've been there quite a few times, I know that. So can you let us know which is your favourite vineyard or winery? I know it's a hard question.
Oh, I kind of feel, it makes me feel really nervous that I'm like, oh, there's so many. But I've got to say, the great thing about the Napa is it actually has every single grape and wine varietal that you can actually want. I'm a real bubbles girl. So the Carneros Champagne House is probably one of my favourite. And that was the one that I showed you, which looks like this big French chateau. So they, I think they made the wine that goes to the White House, and it's very, very delicious.
Right. Thank you very much for that lovely insider tip on bubbles, Penny. Alrighty, so Pens, I just need you to make me the host again, but we do have our question and kind of segment now, and if you've got any questions, please pop them in the Q&A. We've got a question here from Trish. How many days would you suggest for the California road trip?
Look, it's a really great one to do for. It's a really great one to do for sort of that 8 to 12 days, depending on how slow you want to do it. I love a good, 3-4 days in the Napa, personally, and then heading up and a couple of days in North Lake Tahoe, South Lake Tahoe, Mammoth. But I would say, anywhere from 8 to 12 days really makes that a really enjoyable, slow trip.
Okay, 8 to 12 days. Thank you so much, Penny, and thank you, Michelle, for your question. Thanks, Alison, for your nice words, and that's very good. I think we've got just one more here. Anne has asked, are there any train trips possible to the wine country?
Yeah, so you can actually, in Napa itself, they have the Napa Valley wine tray that goes up. You can't take a train directly to the valley, but surprisingly, you can actually take a ferry. So you can catch a ferry from the San Francisco Terminal Building, and it takes you up to Vallejo, which is at the bottom of the valley. From there, you can Uber into town. I think it's about $20, or you can pick up the transfer for the Napa Valley train, and then that goes up and down the valley, and it's just a beautiful one-day trip. They have beautiful food and wine tasting options as well.
Great. Thank you, Penny, for that, and thanks, Anne, for your question. Team, if you do have any further questions beyond today, or please email me at my email address on the screen. Be more than happy to help you, or if I can't answer it, then I'll go to Penny.
More than happy to.
She'll be able to answer your questions. All right, so now we're going to move on to the Kahoot quiz. For those that have downloaded the app, or you can go to kahoot.com. Here is the PIN number. It's 372958, and I will just flick over now to the actual Kahoot, and we'll get things rolling. Just had a quick question from Tanya. Yes, no problem, Tanya. We'll give you Penny's contact details post the webinar. Easy. Alrighty, so there we go. 372958 is the PIN number, and I'll just wait a little while till everyone's signed on. All right, okay, so I'll just give it a few more seconds. And okay, we're going to start it very shortly. So if you haven't put in the PIN number, now's a good time to do that. And please hang around after the quiz as well. I've got details of our next 2 webinars coming up. I've just got a few more people joining. Okie dokie. So just be remind everybody that the questions are quite quick. So have your game on. Get ready. All right, here we go. I'm going to start it in 5 seconds, guys. Okie dokie. I've just got one more joined. All right. Okay, I'm going to start the Kahoot quiz now. All right, so right, over to you, Penny.
How long is the Napa Valley? 100 kilometres, 55 kilometres, 48 kilometres, or 27 kilometres? Whoa, that's right. We've got the majority saying 48 kilometres.
All right, so we'll go to the next question. And our leader is currently Golden Badger.
Oh, Golden Badger.
Second question.
With a maximum recorded depth of 501 metres, what is Lake Tahoe's rank in terms of depth? First, fourth, third, or second? There we go, second it is.
All right, and our current leader is Zany Bat, followed by Gentle Wildcat, and Power here is in third place. All right, next question.
What approximate percentage of Lake Tahoe is on the Nevada side? Is it 2/3, 1/2, 1/3, or 1/4? It's 1/3, that's right.
Just about everyone got that right. Well done.
I did.
Okay, so our leaderboard currently has Zany Bat still at first place, Gentle Wildcat is second, and Power here is at third place. Right, coming up for our next question.
What is the average snowfall per year on Mammoth Mountain? Is it 5 metres, 10 metres, 15 metres, or 20 metres? And it is 10 metres. That's right.
Okie dokie, off to our leaderboard. Zany Bat still in the lead, followed by Gentle Wildcat, and now we've got Cute.
Gonna go?
Yeah, that'll do. Has crept up in third place. All right, to our second to last question.
How high is the famous sheer rock wall El Capitan in Yosemite National Park? 500 metres, 750 metres, 1,000 metres, or 1,500 metres? And the answer is 1,000 metres.
All right. To our scoreboard, and Gentle Wildcat has crept up to the top now with Coot Canoe at second and Charming Quail in third place. All right, our final question for $150 worth of Visa gift cards. Here we go.
How long is the longest drive on the alternate Californian road trip? Is it 3 hours 30 minutes, 2 hours 40 minutes, 4 hours 20 minutes, or 3 hours 50 minutes? And the answer is 3 hours and 50 minutes.
Right, all right. Thanks everyone for participating. We're now going to see who is our third place in the competition, and that went to Y Sable. Third place, second place was Cute Canoe, and our winner of $150 worth of Visa gift cards goes to Gentle Wildcat. Congratulations, Gentle Wildcat. $150 worth of Visa gift cards will be on your way to you. If you could screenshot the screen, just so I can verify that it is you, and email me at my email address, and we'll get those cards off to you. Well done. Thanks everybody for participating in our Kahoot quiz. I'm now just going to share details with you of our next webinars. So coming up in 2 weeks today, we've got NYC & Company joining us, and NYC & Company are the destination marketing organization for New York City. And 2 weeks after that, we've got, for the first time, Discover Puerto Rico joining us, which will be really exciting to learn about Puerto Rico. So bookmark those in your calendars. We'll be sending out details to you all with links on how to register in the coming weeks. So that's it for today. Thank you so much again for taking the time out, for joining us, and for your continued support. A massive thank you to Penny Brand for joining us. Thank you, Penny, and thanks everybody again for coming along. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.